Hi, I'm Peter Jones, Chartered Surveyor, author and property investor. A question I'm sometimes asked is, how do I know what type of property to buy? Which is a great question. Well, the starting point for me would be maybe a bit of a convoluted process, but I think it's really important to get the foundations right, is to firstly to sit back and consider why it is I want to be a property investor. Because there's going to be particular goals and aspirations and results which I want to get out of property. The next stage would be to select the right strategy. Now, in selecting the right strategy, you're then going to start getting clues to the type of property that you need to be buying. So, for example, if my goals required it, it may be that I'm looking for a buy-to-let property. Now, if I was going to buy a buy-to-let property, because of the particular strategy which I use in buy-to-let, I would be looking for a cheaper property in a cheaper area which needs some work doing to it, where I can do a refurb and add some value. And if you've watched any of my other videos, you'll know why I do it that way. But it may be, for example, that your strategy means, because based on your goals, that you need to make perhaps a lump sum of cash quite quickly, in which case I might be looking for a property to flip. Now, if I was buying a property to flip, I wouldn't be looking for a cheaper property in a cheaper area. Why? Because a cheaper property in a cheaper area isn't a flip property. It's going to take longer to sell, and there's going to be less of a demand for it, because what I'd ideally want to do with a flip is to sell a property to an owner-occupier. An owner-occupier wants to buy the property now. Now, I wouldn't be going for the most expensive property because there's a smaller demand, there's a more limited market for the most expensive property in any area, but there's a sweet spot. It'll be a property which would be good maybe for a first-time buyer or a second-time buyer. So it won't be the most expensive, but it'd be more expensive than a typical rental unit. So again, by knowing what I'm trying to achieve and by knowing the right strategy, that will help me to decide which type of property I need to be buying. Now, I cover a lot of this in my home study course, the Successful Property Investors Strategy Workshop. So if you haven't checked that out, please go to my website and have a look. You'll find that very, very helpful. But ultimately, think about what it is you're trying to achieve. Think about the best strategy to help you to achieve what you want to achieve, and then it'll become much clearer as to the type of property that you want to be buying. By the way, if you've enjoyed this video, if you found it helpful and educational and informative, then please don't forget to subscribe or to follow or to like, and there's usually somewhere just down here where you can click the right button, depends which platform you're watching this video on, but please do like, follow, subscribe. Come to my Facebook page if you're not already there, and like my Facebook page, The Property Teacher. Come to my YouTube channel if you're not already there, and subscribe. Follow me, whatever it takes. Be great, we can keep in touch and I can give you even more great property information. Well, I hope you found that informative and inspirational. And if you want help in property, please do come over to my website, www.thepropertyteacher.co.uk. Loads of great resources there, including my blog. There's loads of free videos, loads of great articles. There's free reports to download, including Learning with Peter, where you'll be able to access resources like my video courses, like my ebooks, including my home study course, the Successful Property Investors Strategy Workshop, which I've literally sold thousands of copies of, which takes you through how I started in property, literally with none of my own money, but how I was able to build a portfolio of £2 million worth of property in just 4 years. I'll show you everything that I did right so that you can do the same, and I'll show you everything that I did wrong. I'll tell you about all of my mistakes so that you can avoid them, so that you can progress in property far more quickly than me. Until next time, here's to successful property investing.